When we think about studying abroad, we think about the brand reputation of the university, the ranking of the university, a lot of other things. But our primary decision depends on whether we can afford to even go study abroad and what will happen once I graduate. Will I get a job versus not? These are the two most important things. That's it. Rest all can fall in place. Now, you might come back to me and say, hey Pavan, the cost itself is anyways given on the university website itself. They very clearly say, what is the tuition fee? So what is the point about this entire cost? Well, agree that the tuition fee is there, but there are a lot of other costs associated with studying abroad, and nobody can give you that complete picture. You need to do the analysis. In this video, I'll talk about 4 other components within the cost which will help you make a decision on which university to pick, how much loan you want to take, and whether it truly matters to you versus not. These costs, right? If you are a rich kid, then none of these costs matter to you. But if you are somebody from a lower middle class family trying to move to that upper segment, every single dollar saved makes a lot of difference. And we will also talk about the salary portion. How do you prepare for the worst case scenario? How can the immigration laws itself can decide which country you should go versus not? At least the current immigration laws. We cannot predict what will happen 10 years down the line. And the third thing, which particular job role you should be looking for if the market is really bad. So let's get started with the cost. Yes, the tuition fee is given right there on the website. But the next important cost that you need to think about is the rent. How much rent do you need to pay? Now, it depends a lot on the city that you are going to go and study. For example, if you are studying in New York City, the rent for a 3-bedroom apartment is close to $3,500 to $4,000. And this is shared between, let's say, 3 students. So individually, student should pay approximately $1,000. On the other hand, you go and study in a university like Virginia Tech. This is again a top 10 university in the US. However, the rents there are extremely low. A 3-bedroom apartment, you can get it for $1,000, which means your share would be somewhere around close to $300. Now, a 2-year program, think about the overall cost. In Virginia Tech, for 24 months, you are paying roughly $7,200 for rent. And in New York City, you will be paying roughly $24,000. So the difference itself is $17,000 just based on the rent. Now, moving on to the next cost, this is transportation cost. Don't assume that you will just walk to the university every day. In Virginia Tech, that cost is literally zero, because if you don't walk, these kind of small towns offer free transportation, free public transportation to college students, because the entire local economy of that town survives because of that entire university itself. However, in New York City, there is no such kind of provision. You need to pay $5 to $10 every day for your metro or bus rides. Now, do that math for 2 years. Now you can see it roughly runs out to $3,000 to $4,000. So just these 2 additional buckets combines with a differentiation of up to $20,000. That is huge. Somebody aspiring to go from that middle class to upper middle class, these costs matter a lot. The third bucket in the cost segment, the additional cost segment, is about whether it's a 1-year program or a 2-year program. Because all the expenses double, whether it's a living expense, transportation expense, or even your tuition fee. So pick the courses accordingly, right? Don't ignore that 1-year factor versus 2-year factor. Just to share a simple and small personal story, my dad, after my undergraduation, he told me very clearly that, beta, I can't afford you going and studying abroad, whatever it is. So you need to work in India, you need to study in India, and you need to go get your own scholarships. And I dropped my idea. I did not even think about masters after my undergrad. But now, knowing these factors, I would have convinced my father on, hey, I don't need so much loan. I would probably take a part-time option. I would probably get some funding from the professor itself. Or I would go and study in a town like Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech is located. So don't ignore these options at all. The tuition fee is just one component. There are a lot of other components which you can optimize and go for that lower amount of loan. The second factor is about the post-college employment scenario. How does it look like? Now, currently the job market is very, very dark. Even some of the best universities are not able to place students. So what about international students? The placement reports, yes, they are there, but they don't give a full picture about international students. If you don't get a job, let's say that won't happen, but if in case, what are the chances? What do you do next? In country like US, there is no other option but for you to come back. But in UK, you can actually stay back, extend your visa for 2 more years and search for that job. This kind of provision, the countries which are little more receptive towards immigrants, is something really crucial that you need to consider. Just don't assume that, hey, I will just go study in the US, that's it. No, think about other options, because the visa rules are little more favorable. Canada, UK, Ireland. Think about these options, because post-college, these factors matter a lot more. Now, the second factor is, what can you do when the job market itself is not too good? Well, pick colleges which map with your strength. What do I mean by that? For example, if you are chemical engineer, mechanical engineer, civil engineer, any of these things, and even if you go for a master's or MBA, pick a school which is much stronger in engineering. For example, Cornell. Cornell is known for its engineering departments. So even if you go study MBA there, a lot of people again go into managerial roles within engineering companies. If you are having that background in computer science, go study in Foster School of Business, because a lot of people then go on to work in technology companies. If you have background in oil and gas, go study in universities in Texas. Now, I'm just giving you 3 options, but you need to understand that if you are falling into that university strength versus your strength overlap, you will get a job. But if there is no overlap, then you are all by yourself searching for that job. So don't ignore both the university strength versus your strength, and also the immigrant, the visa issues, which could come in handy for you 10 years down the lane. Well, nobody can predict what happens 10 years down the lane, but at least the indications are there right now. I personally myself have studied abroad and reaped the benefits. So now I actively encourage students to at least think about it. Don't just get swayed by, "Arey, cost to bahut zyada hai." No, think about it, see what are the factors where you can optimize, and then come to me and say that, hey, yes, Pavan, this is absolutely not a good choice, versus probably I can manage it, because this is definitely one of the options which can push you one level higher in terms of your earnings and savings. Thank you so much, guys. By the way, I also created 4 additional videos on roadmap to 2024 study abroad applications. Please do go watch them if you have any questions regarding to how to prepare that best application for the 2024 study abroad cycle. Thank you so much. Do subscribe to the channel if you love the content, and let me know if you have any feedback. Would love to hear from you. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.